Hi, we'll be starting with section 17, which talks about apportionment of credit and block credits. Apportionment of credit is covered from your section 17, subsection 1 to subsection 4, whereas block credits is covered in your section 17, subsection 5. There are a total of only 5 subsections in your section 17, all of which we'll be doing now. Before we start, let's understand the meaning of apportionment. What do you understand by the term apportionment? It means to separate, divide, segregate, bifurcate, etc. So let's see what are we going to separate or bifurcate or divide. Now section 17 subsection 1 is saying that when you've purchased goods and this purchases, you must have paid some tax that will be called as your input tax. Now you've purchased the goods and you're partly using it for business purpose and partly you're using for personal use. Credit or set off should be allowed in which cases? If you're purchasing goods, inputs, and you're using partly for business purpose and partly for personal use. So ITC is available only to the extent it is used for business purpose. So your ITC will be available because you're using for business purpose. But if you use for personal use or any other purpose, then ITC is not available. ITC will not be given. Okay, so only business owners and those who use it for business purpose are entitled to input tax credit. So your apportionment means what? You're dividing the input tax, that how much have you used for business purpose and how much have you used for नॉन बिजनेस पर्पज. सो बिजनेस पर्पज के लिए जितना भी आईटीसी है वो यूज कर सकते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ योर इनपुट टैक्स, दैट इज योर टैक्स ऑन परचेजेस, इज ₹10,000 and I say 70% of these inputs are used for 70% is used for business purpose, 70% is used for business purpose and 30% is used for personal use. So credit will also be bifurcated or divided accordingly, where 70% will be allowed, that is 7,000 will be allowed and 3,000 which is used for personal use will be disallowed. So 7,000 rupees का ITC मिल जाएगा. Similarly, if you have purchased certain inputs and those inputs are used for both taxable supplies as well as exempt supplies, can you tell me ITC will be available for how much or on which kind of supplies? So the answer is ITC will be available for all taxable supplies and exempt supplies ITC is not available. Let's take an example here also. Let's say I have purchased certain goods and I have paid a input tax of ₹10,000. I say that this 10,000 in whatever the input tax I've paid, the inputs I've purchased, some have been used for making taxable supplies and some have been used for making exempt supplies. So let's say if I'm saying 30% has been used, these inputs have been used for making taxable supplies. So ITC will be available to the extent मतलब जितना तुमने टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज के लिए यूज किया उतना यूज कर सकते हो. मतलब कितना? 3,000 रुपीज ITC अवेलेबल होगा बिकॉज 30% ऑफ दिस इज यूज फॉर टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज. एग्जेम्प्ट सप्लाईज इज 70%. सो 70% जितना ITC विल नॉट बी अवेलेबल. सो 7,000 जितना ITC विल नॉट बी अवेलेबल. हाउ इज दिस पॉसिबल? इट्स पॉसिबल इफ आई एम, लेट्स से, purchasing certain plastic. Okay, plastic I'm being used and plastic has been used for making plastic toys and selling those plastic toys on which GST is applicable. So these are taxable goods. इस पे गवर्नमेंट इज सेइंग आपको टैक्स लग रहा है, आप क्रेडिट ले लो. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? exempt goods. Let's say I'm making salt or Tata salt and let's say government has exempted salt and all the packaging products and everything on it. So मैं जो पैकेजिंग प्रोडक्ट बना रहा हूँ सॉल्ट के लिए, टाटा सॉल्ट के लिए, वो तो एग्जेम्प्ट है. ये प्लास्टिक यहाँ पे भी यूज हो रहा है बट लॉ हैज एग्जेम्प्ट द सप्लाईज. इन सच केस वील सी हाउ मच आर यू यूजिंग. सो 70% इज बीइंग यूज्ड. So 70% will be disallowed because government is saying ये तो सेल पे आपको टैक्स ही नहीं लग रहा है, तो क्रेडिट का सवाल ही नहीं आता है, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली देर इज नो आउटपुट टैक्स एट ऑल, सो द क्वेश्चन ऑफ क्रेडिट और अ सेट ऑफ डज नॉट अराइज. Moving ahead to section 17 subsection 3. Now section 17 subsection 3 is not that important, but let me just tell you what it is. It is saying that relates to RCM, reverse charge mechanism. In reverse charge mechanism, let's say there is a recipient and there is a supplier. Can you tell me in RCM who is liable to pay the tax to the government? Who is liable to pay the tax to the government? Is it the recipient or the supplier? Supplier is making the sales, so he is making the sales. But on these sales, is he required to pay the government? Answer is no, he is not required to pay tax to the government. Instead, the recipient is liable to pay tax to the government in supplies which are covered under reverse charge mechanism. So what does section 17 subsection 3 say? Section 17 subsection 3 says that when supplier is making sales which fall under RCM, so in such cases these supplies will be treated as exempt supplies from the point of view of supplier, because supplier को तो टैक्स भरना ही नहीं है. It is a recipient who is liable to pay tax. So from the supplier point of view, we can say that these are exempt supplies, because he is not liable to pay the tax to the government or even collect the tax. The recipient will do all this job of collecting the tax and paying it to the government, etc. So from the supplier point of view, he's going to be really happy because he is not liable to pay the tax to the government. For him, these are exempt supplies. Next, if we see section 17 subsection 4. Now this is important. You need to pay attention. Section 17 subsection 4 says with respect to how do you claim ITC for a banking company, like you have HDFC Bank, ICICI, SBI, etc. Now banking companies are engaged in providing taxable supplies also and exempt supplies also. So banking companies, let's say HDFC Bank makes taxable supplies also. Okay, they are engaged, all banks are engaged in taxable supplies as well as non-taxable supplies or exempt supplies, non-taxable supplies. For example, एक बैंकिंग कंपनी है, वो लोग फॉरेन एक्सचेंज के साथ में डील कर सकते हैं, दे कुड बी ऑथराइज्ड डीलर्स, सो दैट पार्ट इज टैक्सेबल. ओके, करेंसी कन्वर्जन फॉरेक्स में अगर कर रहे वो लोग तो वो सब टैक्सेबल होता है. सेकंड, नॉन टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज. समटाइम्स इवन विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द शेयर मार्केट दे एक्ट एज ब्रोकर्स. अब ब्रोकर्स की सर्विसेज पे भी जीएसटी लगता है, तो इवन HDFC बैंक कैन बी अ ब्रोकर. ओके, सो ऑल ऑफ दिस पे टैक्स लगता है, तो दे प्रोवाइड टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज. Also banks provide non-taxable supplies also. For example, your FD that you made, okay, your safekeeping saving account, they are also giving you a service of storing your goods, storing your money, preserving your money, giving you sometimes ATM services, etc. Now all these services are non-taxable supplies. So banks in general provide taxable as well as non-taxable supplies. So इनको दो ऑप्शन दिया है अंडर सेक्शन 17 सबसेक्शन 4. बैंक्स हैव टू ऑप्शन. ईदर दे कैन proportionately divide how much is taxable, how much is exempt, and then they can take the credit themselves. For example, they will have to maintain an account कि how much taxable supplies they are using and how much non-taxable supplies they are using. For example, if I say that they are engaged in 90% taxable supplies and only 10%, it generally might be the other way around, where the bank is providing 10% taxable services and 90% let's say they are maintaining as for non-taxable supplies. तो बैंक 10% टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज कर रही है तो उनको अलग से अकाउंट मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा और उनको मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा कितना परसेंटेज टैक्सेबल का सप्लाई करते हैं और कितना परसेंटेज बिजनेस नॉन टैक्सेबल कर रहे हैं. तो इसी प्रपोर्शन में क्रेडिट भी ले सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल द बैंकिंग कंपनी मस्ट बी डूइंग मार्केटिंग, सो दे मस्ट बी डूइंग सम मार्केटिंग सर्विसेज हायर किया वो लोग ने. दे मस्ट हैव टेकन ऑडिटिंग सर्विसेज, ऑडिटिंग सर्विसेज, ये सब इनके बिजनेस पे आया होगा टैक्स. तो दिस ऑल विल बी देयर इनपुट टैक्स because to provide the output supply, all of this they have done for input. So all the taxes that they pay is input tax. So ये लोग ने मार्केटिंग सर्विसेज भी अवेल की थी, मे बी आर्किटेक्चरल इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग सर्विसेज भी अवेल किए थे, ऑडिटिंग सर्विसेज भी अवेल किए थे. तो ये सब पे तो बैंक्स के पास में इनपुट टैक्स भर भर के होता है. वो लोग की कमर्शियल प्रॉपर्टी होगी तो वो लोग ने रेंट पे लिया होगा तो उसके ऊपर भी जीएसटी आता है. So in this case, the banks must be having input tax, yes or no? Banks must be having input tax, yes or no? So let's say they have a input tax, सब मिला के ये सब इनके पास में input tax is of rupees 1 lakh. Now if the bank wants, they can maintain separate accounts, that is apportionate or proportionate basis पे. They can take 10% जितना ले सकते हैं और 90% जितना गिव अप कर सकते हो. तो जितना टैक्सेबल है उतना क्रेडिट ले सकते हैं. तो यहां से 10,000 जितना क्रेडिट विल बी अवेलेबल. सो 1 लाख रुपीज इज इनपुट का 10% फॉर टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज. सो उतना दैट इज 10,000 रुपीज क्रेडिट ले सकते हो और 90,000 क्रेडिट जाने दे सकते हो. अब सोचो बैंक्स के पास में दूसरा ऑप्शन भी है दैट इफ देयर इज नॉट दैट इतना बड़ा डिफरेंस नहीं है 10 और 90 का. लेट्स से इनका यहाँ पे 55% इज फॉर टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज. लेट्स से 55% इज टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज एंड ओनली 45% इज नॉन टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज. So in that case, they are saying where to maintain all these accounts. It's going to be very difficult for a bank to maintain how much is taxable, how much is non-taxable. So what the government has done, they've said एक काम करो, ad hoc 50% लेने दो और 50% जाने दो. Option 2, avail 50% of the total credit and balance 50% ignore it. Ad hoc rate क्या है कि just take 50% of this credit. मतलब 50% it will be assumed or deemed that 50% is taxable supplies and 50% is non-taxable supplies. So take 50,000 credit and 50,000 let it go. What is the second option? The second option says don't go into the bifurcation, just take a 50% of the total credits. तो जो भी total credit है उसका 50% ले सकते हैं. So banks will have to do a calculation whether they want to go for option 1, but option 1 में proportionate के लिए सब accounts maintain करने पड़ते. So it becomes very tedious and little cumbersome and expensive for them. Rather they can go for option 2. अगर ज़्यादा difference नहीं है between taxable and non-taxable supplies, they can just go कि उनका जो भी total credit है उसका 50% avail कर देने का और 50% lapse होने देने का. So if let's say this is 10 lakh rupees and they go for option 2, so how much will be available? Can you tell me? If the total inputs is 10 lakh rupees and they are opting for option 2, then how much they can avail? It is 50% of rupees 10 lakh, that is 5 lakh rupees can be availed and 5 lakh rupees can be given up. Now in this only there is a very important proviso, or you could say an important point, that supplies between banks having the same PAN but different registration, full credit will be admissible or allowed. Now there is a point here, an important note to be kept in mind, which is very important, that section 17 subsection 4 says that when supplies are made between two branches, let's take an example, this is HDFC Bank. So HDFC Limited will be having one PAN card. कॉमन सेंस है, कंपनी का एक पैन कार्ड होगा. अब यहाँ पे बैंक इन स्टेट ए, सो लेट्स से दिस इज HDFC महाराष्ट्र एंड बैंक इन स्टेट बी, सो दिस इज HDFC गुजरात. अब ये लोग दोनों के बीच में थोड़ी सप्लाईज हुए हैं. ओके, सो व्हाट आर दे सेइंग? The restriction of 50% shall not apply when the supplies are made between one registered person to another registered person having the same PAN. So they both will have, since they are in two different states, they will have two GSTN numbers, because महाराष्ट्र के अंदर में भी रजिस्टर होना है तो एक GST नंबर वहां का होगा, गुजरात में भी रजिस्टर हुए तो गुजरात में भी, तो जितने भी स्टेट्स में तुम प्रेजेंस होता है उतनी स्टेट्स में तुमको रजिस्ट्रेशन करना है. So you will have two GSTN numbers and one PAN. So if this is the case, you have more than one GSTN number and one PAN, then they are saying the 50% credit will not apply and you can take 100% credit admissible, full credit admissible. इसका मतलब क्या है? Let's say Maharashtra HDFC has given some advisory services to HDFC गुजरात. अब HDFC गुजरात ने लेट्स से पेमेंट किया ऑफ द वैल्यू इंक्लूडिंग द टैक्स ऑफ ₹2 लाख इनने टैक्स पे किया, GST पेड. गुजरात HDFC बैंक पेड ₹2 लाख GST फॉर acquiring this advisory services from their branch. In such cases, entire ₹2 lakh input tax can be claimed. तो उनका फिर 50-50% नहीं लेंगे इसका, ये वाले जो between same branches है उसका 100% credit is admissible. So it is a good provision for banks. Now we'll be starting with the most important provision under section 17 subsection 5. Now we'll be starting one of the most important subsections of section 17. That is section 17 subsection 5, which talks about block credits. Block credits simply means credits which are blocked or ineligible or not allowed to be taken. So these is also called as the negative lists, block credits and ineligible credits. So these taxes paid on purchases of these items are not allowed or credit is not given of these items. So the dealers will not be happy, registered persons will not be happy with section 17 subsection 5 because it blocks their credit or denies credit of these purchases. However, there are some exceptions where ITC is available in respect of these things subject to certain conditions. So the dealers will be happy with this side of the table where ITC is allowed, whereas the left hand side of this table is not allowed. So let's see the first one which is disallowed, that is your motor vehicles for transportation of persons. So let's understand why did they introduce this provision. So what happened is the directors used to buy cars, expensive cars in the name of the company so that they could use these credits when the goods are being sold. So ultimately these cars were not really directly connected with the making supplies. I could be in the business of selling toys, selling laptops, selling mobile phones, etc. So what happens? This is my final goods, but what inputs credit I'm claiming is a car for my transportation, directors and promoters transportation. So they are saying this is too remote and they want to deny it simply because it was seen that the cars were not used for business purpose but were actually used for personal use. So therefore motor vehicles, like let's say a car, is denied from credits. Okay, now they've said if it has a seating capacity of not more than 13 persons including the driver. So not more than simply means up to. So up to 13 persons are there. So a small little car is there. So up to 13 persons are denied from taking credits. So let's take an example that XYZ Limited buys a 5-seater car for transportation of guests and directors of the company. ITC will not be available of these goods, because somewhere these are not really directly being connected with the output or the supply. Now, however, the exceptions are there. So in these cases, credits is allowed. So let's see what they have given in the exceptions. So if you are engaged in the business of further supplying the motor vehicle, okay, so let's say a car dealer, I purchase car, I pay GST. I further sell the car, I will collect GST. ITC is available because I am in the dealing in the business of cars. So here we feel it is a direct connection between motor vehicle. So I'm purchasing the car, paying GST, that is my input tax. When I sell the car, I will collect the tax, that is my output tax. I am allowed to take a credit of the tax paid earlier. The second case is example of transportation of passengers. If my company is engaged in the business of transportation of passengers, for example, Ola Uber will really be happy with this provision because they are engaged in the business of transportation of passengers from point A to point B. So this is they are providing the following supplies. So when Ola Uber, for example, they don't have their own cars, but I'm saying if Ola Uber had their own cars and they purchase these cars for transportation of passengers, so they will be entitled to the ITC because it falls in the exceptions. Let me give you another example. There are some Volvo buses. The business is transportation of passengers. So when the business owner purchases these Volvo buses or any of these kind of things, so purpose is for transportation of passengers. If the business is of transportation of passengers, ITC is available. Next is imparting training. If my business is imparting training on these motor vehicles, for example, there are some training schools, car training schools like Good Luck or other kind of motor training schools. They purchase these cars. Credit of this is allowed because it somewhere sees it's directly or very much connected with the business. Next, if we see if it is the motor vehicles for transportation of more than 13%, so up to 13, not more than 13 is disallowed. So small cars are being disallowed, but big, which are more than 13, are allowed from ITC because it seems that this is not for personal use. This must be used for transportation of the employees, pick and drop services which are there. Okay, so let's see. And one important thing, if you go to see what is there in the negative list with respect to the motor vehicles, it is transportation of persons. That means motor vehicles for transportation of goods. Transportation of goods is allowed because it is nowhere mentioned in the negative list. So for example, if I purchase a truck, okay, for transporting the goods from point A to point B, from the factory to the warehouse, मैंने सोचा था कि ये ट्रक खरीद लेता हूँ for transportation of goods. It is not meant for transportation of passengers. In such cases, the ITC is available because nowhere in section 17 subsection 5 clause A with respect to motor vehicles covers such an aspect. Now moving forward, after motor vehicles, nowadays you go to see business owners, again as we see, they buy luxury cars, they also buy now luxury yachts, that is your vessels, and aircraft, that is your private jet. Okay, so let's say there are some billionaires which also buy vessels. Okay, now law also denies that अगर आपको luxury car नहीं allow कर रहे हैं, luxury yacht भी नहीं allow करेंगे और luxury private jet भी नहीं allow करेंगे. Okay, so all this is not allowed. However, it is allowed if you do the following things. So this is a sad part where they don't allow. Whereas we'll see cases where they are allowing is in the right hand side. So all these cases are allowed. If I am providing the following taxable supplies, if it is my business of further selling the vessel or the aircraft, same thing. अगर business ही है वो stock in trade है मेरा, ITC is allowed. So I purchase these aircrafts and I further sell these aircrafts. ITC is available. If I'm in the business of transportation of passengers, so maybe Air India, airline companies, they purchase these airlines, so they are allowed because this is the business is transportation of passengers. So the business should be such that imparting training or navigating. So there are so many flying schools who teach how to become a pilot. So all those cases when they buy, it is for imparting training or navigation of how do you fly such aircrafts. And lastly, if this is for transportation of goods, as we had seen was allowed for transportation of goods has been allowed. Okay, so we've taken an example that, for example, ITC on the purchase of a private jet for the travel of its board of directors cannot be allowed. Now ITC is Indian Tobacco Company. It is in the manufacture of cigarettes. Now that is buying a private jet in the name of the company. So ITC of such kind of goods which we don't feel is directly connecting with the business is disallowed, because they somewhere feel that the BOD and the board of directors are it's mainly for them and they are snob appeal or a status symbol. Now we saw what were disallowed: motor vehicles, vessel, aircrafts were disallowed. Moving forward, even the insurance, repairs, maintenance with respect to motor vehicles, vessels and aircraft was disallowed. तो अगर हम लोग कार को ही डिसअलाउ कर रहे हैं, उसको प्राइवेट जेट को डिसअलाउ कर रहे हैं, दिस इज अ प्राइवेट जेट. एंड अनदर थिंग, इवन द यॉट को डिसअलाउ कर रहे हैं, ये सब डिसअलाउड फ्रॉम आईटीसी से डिसअलाउड है. सो ऑब्वियसली इसके रिलेटेड जो एंसिलरी, जब बॉस ही अलाउड नहीं है टू एंटर, तो ऑब्वियसली उसके all those other people are also disallowed. So if the main act is only not allowed, the ancillary acts such as repairs of these goods, or maybe the insurance of these goods, or maybe the maintenance, servicing, okay, servicing of all these, I would be paying GST on maintaining the car, maintaining the boat and maintaining the airplane. But since they are only not allowed, then ITC with respect to them is also, to these ancillary activities, is also disallowed. It's pretty simple. Now coming to this, which is the eligibility part, what comes under the exceptions where ITC is available. If the services are used for the exceptions thereon, if the conveyance is eligible for ITC, then the expenses to that is also allowed. So we had seen above that in certain cases, that is in these cases, if you're using for these motor vehicles and aircraft, if you're using for further supply, transportation of passengers, transportation of goods, if that's your business, and imparting training, it is allowed. So if the vessel and all this is allowed, if this is allowed, then even this becomes allowed. So we had seen in the above exception, if it is my business of training how to fly, how to ride a yacht, maybe I have a sailing business where I teach people how to sail, or I teach people how to drive. So this is, since this becomes my stock in trade, or this becomes my main activities training, so then automatically with respect to that, the insurance, the repairs and the servicing expenses also get allowed to be, ITC is allowed with respect to that also. Second, where received by a taxable person is engaged. So if the taxable person who's receiving this is engaged in the manufacture of motor vehicles as a aircraft, is also allowed. So for example, a manufacturer of these goods will be entitled to the credit of these goods. or with respect to the repairs of these goods, the insurance with respect to these goods, and the servicing with respect to these goods. So manufacturers के लिए बहुत बड़ा relief है. Manufacturers have been given an advantage that if they are engaged in manufacturing your car, private jets, and your yacht vessels, with respect to all of that, whichever expenses go on, you are allowed with that also. Next, if I am in the supply of general insurance, so we had seen insurance was disallowed. Insurance, general insurance, one is life insurance. Here it is a general insurance with respect to the vehicle or the conveyance. उसके related अगर खराब हो गया, कुछ damage हो गया, there is a theft, whatever, a kind of loss depending on the contract. So this is a insurance company. So we had seen it was disallowed, but when it is allowed, if the person who is receiving it is in the supply of insurance business in respect of such motor vehicles insured by him. For example, I am providing insurance. I am providing insurance to these conveyances, motor, all of this. So I am in the business of insurance. इंश्योरेंस कंपनी कभी कभार क्या करती है, अपना रिस्क शेयर करने के लिए री इंश्योरेंस करा लेते हैं. री इंश्योरेंस इज डन. Insurance company get a reinsurance done to mitigate, share the risk. For example, if I know that I'm taking the insurance of this vehicle and it is going to come up to 10 crores and I feel that 10 crores का मैंने claim दे दिया है उनको, मैंने 10 crores का cover दे दिया, I've insured them up to 10 crores. Now I don't want to take such a big risk, so I further share that risk with another person and I have a contract with them. So obviously this contract is called, I would pay tax here also, so it is my input tax, since I am also getting insurance done. So when the insurance company gets an insurance done, because even insurance company face a lot of risk, when there is big claims, the risk is also big. So insurance company generally take a reinsurance कि अगर हम अटक गए तो आप हमको help करना. So here this is also a contract. So they make payments and they will have to make the payment along with GST, this insurance company, because they are availing the service. Then further they also get paid. So the output tax, when they sell the insurance, they also have certain previous insurances which they have taken. So they will take a credit of that. That is allowed. So let's read it. An insurance company who is in the business of insurance with respect to motor vehicles, vessels insured by them, I can take a credit of the insurance if I have done a reinsurance. So insurance company with respect to these goods, credit is allowed to them. Okay. So vehicle manufacturers can claim ITC, as we had seen. Manufacturers, insurance companies, and if the main product is allowed, all the expenses with respect to the main product is also allowed. This all has been added by the Finance Act lately. Moving forward, food, beverages, outdoor activity, catering, beauty treatment, health services, cosmetic, plastic surgery, leasing, renting of motor vehicles, all except when they are used for the mentioned therein life insurance, health insurance, all of this is disallowed. तो ये सब disallowed हो जाता है. क्या क्या है? Food and beverages. For example, I am providing certain canteen services to my employees. Now I am in the business of maybe manufacturing of some industrial product and I have a canteen given to them. So they are paying, I am also acquiring this canteen services from someone. So I also, the company also must be paying some on the food and the beverages. They also must be making payments along with the GST. That ITC which they are paying to acquire the food and beverages for whoever in the company is disallowed, because we feel it is too remote. The business is something else and you're providing food and beverages, and the companies can get very luxuriously, they can spend on this. So it is disallowed. Outdoor catering. if we have a outside party and again the company hires a outdoor caterer, so they would pay along with the GST. Credit of that is not allowed. Beauty treatment, let's say for example we see an employee and moment we see his face we say please get a treatment done, okay, and get yourself groomed well and come back. Now we pay for his manicure, pedicure, hair spa, everything we pay for that person. Now the company's business might be in industrial products, but they are paying for the beauty treatment of an employee. Again, such kind of thing is disallowed. Health services, maybe someone wants some medical treatment was there, we are giving them some health services, fitness services, all of that is disallowed. Cosmetics and plastic surgery, so if someone wants to get a different kind of activity on their body and company is paying for that, ITC is not available with respect to that. Okay, even life insurance, health insurance are there in the negative list, except when it is used for the purpose specified therein. So life insurance, health insurance is mentioned in section 17 subsection 5, that is block credits. However, all of this can get allowed. ठीक है, allowed section यहाँ पे है. Allowed कब होगा? When it is obligatory for the employer to provide by any law. For example, canteen services are mandatory if you have more than 250 employees. Industrial Dispute Act is saying, the Factories Act is saying you need to have a canteen. Since law is mandating me, then ITC, then the taxes paid to procure all these canteen services, food, beverages, etc. is mandatory. Sometimes the government might mandate you need to take a life insurance or you need to take a health insurance if there is a law as such. If it becomes obligated, mandatory by law, then credit of that is available. And second, when it is used in supply of a similar nature of business. For example, I am supplying food and beverages and I am taking the services of food and beverages. So it is allowed because I could be in the business of maybe I am a caterer. तो मैं केटरिंग सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड कर रहा हूँ, तो मेरा केटरिंग का बिजनेस है. अब मैंने खुद से आउटसोर्स कर लिया, तो मैं यहाँ से 1 लाख रुपए ले रहा हूँ, मैं किसी आउटडोर केटरर को मैं अपॉइंट करके रख देता हूँ. सो आई एम ऑल्सो टेकिंग सर्विसेज and then further providing the services there. So then ITC is available since it's considered as my stock in trade or I'm in the same business or it's directly in connection. For example, now you tell me, Ajay Enterprises arranges an office party for its employees. It will not be able to claim the ITC on the food and beverages served. Only when it is allowed when you are in the business of that or if the government has obligated it, then you can claim the ITC. Next, again a really simple one, membership of any club, health, fitness center. For example, the company is paying for the director's gym, director's Zumba classes, director's health club, director's certain, he has access to certain clubs. We are paying, the company is paying, they can't take credit of that. So examples, Mr. X, a managing director, has taken a membership of a club and the company pays the membership fees. Now company will pay along with GST. ITC of such amount is not allowed. Next is travel benefits extended to the employees on vacation. तो अगर तुम वेकेशन के लिए एम्प्लॉइज को भेज रहे हो तो ITC उसका नॉट अवेलेबल. ओके, लेट्स से इफ employee has become the employee of the year, he has made a fabulous sales and we tell him, boss, we are going to send you to a Europe trip, or Euro trip पे भेजते तुमको. Now we will sponsor the ticket for you, for the employee and his entire family, wife, children and whoever he wants. So the company is sponsoring it. The company will pay the travel company with GST. Credit of that is not allowed. What if he is going for business purpose? Business purpose का तो exception में नहीं दिया है, तो it is allowed. See, ITC will be allowed if it is for business purpose, because यहाँ पे clearly mention किया है for vacation such as leave or home travel concession, etc., then it is not allowed. Now obviously where you're sending them, that can be a subject to inquiry, investigation. Auditor might ask that he's gone to maybe Thailand and you're saying he's gone for business purpose, तो doubtful लग सकता है, but generally it goes unnoticed, okay, unchecked. You, the company can say, but generally companies don't lie in all these activities. They are pretty clean. So they will honestly say whether the employee को तुम vacation पे भेज रहे हो या तुम उसको business purpose के लिए भेज रहे हो. If input service is used for employees, if they are made obligated by the government. So if imagine the government today, Indian government removes a law that employees who work for 3 years, we have to mandatorily give them a tour or travel ticket. Now in that case, if it comes, then it is allowed, but I don't think that is happening in near future. So all of that will be disallowed. The C part is works contract services. Works contract services, from the name itself you'll come to know, this is a contract that you've taken to complete a particular work. So it's a contract you've taken to complete a particular work. In this works contract, you are going to supply your services as well as the goods. So it is possible that you're going to supply the goods and the services for a particular consideration, and it is a particular task that has been given to you. So a particular task or project has been given to you. This will be called as a works contract. Simple. For example, the building has hired ABC contractors to repair the lift or install the lift and fix it up. So it's a works contract because the company, the Otis company or the lift company will provide the goods, materials as well as the labor, and all of this for a particular consideration and to install the lift. Okay, so all of that. So in such cases, works contract, GST is not available. So after knowing such a beautiful concept, you come to know that the ITC is not available for these things. For example, if the company says, I'll get my entire interiors of the office done, that interior companies nowadays provide you with the goods also and with the services, and of the interior designing services also provide for a particular task. It will be considered to be a works contract. ITC is not available with respect to that. However, if it is for plant and machinery, you have taken a project for installation of plant and machinery, we know this is used directly for the business, ITC is available. तो यहाँ पे क्या है, other than plant and machinery, मतलब plant and machinery के ऊपर ITC available. Very very important, please note it down. So works contract for setting up, installing, constructing your plant and machinery, ITC is available. Next, if it is used in the similar nature of business, then ITC is available. ये हमेशा constant है. If I am in the business of works contract services and I procure works contract services from someone else, ITC is available. So when I procure, I pay GST. So I have input tax. And second, when I give works contract services, I will collect GST. So ITC is allowed with respect to such things. Next, if the goods or services are used for construction of an immovable property other than plant and machinery, I told you plant and machinery ke liye always allowed on his own account. So goods or services are used for construction of immovable property on his own account, even when the supplies are used in the course or furtherance of business. Even if it is used for furtherance of business, समझते क्या सीन है? You have done a construction of immovable property for your own use, then ITC is not available. So you'll be really really sad. Let's take an example. Ajay Steel Industries construct an office for building its headquarters. So Ajay Steel constructed an office for building its own headquarters. So they constructed immovable property एंड ये खुद ही यूज करने वाले, कुछ सर्विस किसी को बेचने नहीं वाले या किसी को कुछ रेंट पे नहीं दे रहे, खुद ही यूज करने वाले, तो ITC इज नॉट अवेलेबल. सो अजय स्टील मस्ट हैव यूज्ड सो मेनी गुड्स सर्विसेज टू कंस्ट्रक्ट दैट प्रॉपर्टी. ITC इज नॉट अवेलेबल. अब एक केस था वेयर अ कंपनी, a particular writ petition was filed with respect to this, where a company, what they had done, they had constructed an office, they had constructed an entire building, and this entire building was given out for rentals के लिए दे दिया था. So is ITC available? Because the construction was there, construction of immovable property, okay, it was there and it was their property, but they give it out on rentals. Is ITC available? Can you tell me the judgment of the writ petition? So it was held that they are not using for own purpose. They are not going to use it since they are letting it out to people. Then ITC is available. ITC is available since they are not using for own use. Own use के लिए disqualification में था. Own use के लिए नहीं है तो available होगा. Now coming to the next one, composition scheme. Composition dealers are completely disallowed from claiming any input tax. This composition scheme is in which section of GST? Any idea? Section number 10. Next is goods or services imported by non-resident taxable person. Now non-resident taxable person मतलब क्या? Is he an Indian or is he a foreigner? So he is a foreigner, you could say, not a resident of India. He is taxable person. Why? Because he must be giving some taxable supplies. So maybe let's say there is a foreigner, Mr. John. Now Mr. John is trying to do business in India. So he is a non-resident and he's doing business in India. He has an exhibition, he has a singing concert, he's making some taxable supplies. So he's a non-resident taxable person. So do you think India is going to give a lot of advantages to non-residents or they will give them disadvantages? इंडिया में आके बिजनेस करके इंडियंस के साथ में कॉम्पीट कर रहे हैं, सो इंडिया गिव्स देम अ डिसएडवांटेज. द गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज दैट दे हैव रिसीव्ड आर disallowed. Okay, so they do not get any ITC in respect of the goods that they use or the services that they avail. So they become disadvantaged and the local suppliers and local dealers will be at a benefit because they are getting the ITC. So this is to put the local people in advantage. However, we are not that bad. We allow, तो ये वाला जो supplies है ना, इसका ITC available है. Import of goods by the non-resident taxable person, we are allowing it. If the non-resident taxable person is importing certain goods, ITC is available. अब इसको भी क्यों allow किया? Because imports पे heavy duty लगती है. If heavy duty is levied and we don't give him a credit, that business only will not be viable and we will not have business in India also. So we have to bring in a balance. So we disallow him on local supplies, but imports, there is heavy duties. So we tell them that you please do business in India. For imports, we will give you a kind of a credits will be given. ITC is available when non-resident taxable persons are importing the goods and the taxes paid on imports will be credited to them. Credit will be given to them. If you are using for personal consumption, common sense, no, ITC is granted. If the goods have been lost, destroyed, stolen or written off or disposed of in any way free, ITC is not available with respect to that. Let's say if the goods are lost, inputs which you have bought are lost, stolen, destroyed by fire. So we say, boss, that you have lost it, that is not our problem. The taxes का credit हम नहीं दे सकते. So if I have purchased the goods and I thought I'll do business with it, I'll further sell it off. Someone stole these goods and they went away. So what happens? इसका credit दे देगी क्या government? Government will say, boss, हम लोग output tax जो है ना उसके against set off देते हैं. आपका output tax सेल ही नहीं होने वाला है, तो आपको credit का सवाल ही नहीं आने वाला है. So all those taxes का credit नहीं मिलेगा because there is not going to be any further sale. Now when I come to written off क्या होता है? Let's say I had bought certain goods and I had put it in my books of accounts. Now later I came to know that these goods जो थे वो यूजलेस हो गए, हम लोग ने गलत मंगा लिया था, वी हैड परचेज रॉन्ग गुड्स और दे गॉट स्पॉइल्ड इन द रेन और एनीथिंग, सो वी wrote off from the entire balance sheet saying that it has been useless goods, we are writing it off. So since there is no further sale of these goods, then no ITC will be given of this. If they are disposed of as gifts or free samples, again no output tax. In all these cases there is no sales, so no sale means no output tax. So when no output tax, credit किसके against लोगे? Credit can be taken only against output tax. So if no output tax, no ITC, because the purpose of ITC is to alleviate or remove डबल टैक्सेशन. तो डबल टैक्सेशन का सवाल ही नहीं है, एक ही बार टैक्स लगा जब तुमने परचेज किया. सेल के ऊपर वापस डबल टैक्स आता तो हम उसको सेट ऑफ या बेनिफिट देते हैं. सो देयर इज नो डबल टैक्सेशन. नेक्स्ट, GST paid on demand raised by the revenue authorities under section 74 and it has been searched, it has been detained और सर्च सीज हो गए और पेनल्टी लग गई किसी का किस्म की, तो ऐसे गुड्स के ऊपर नो ITC is given. Because what happens, it is possible that I must have improperly or maybe try to do some wrong where GST authorities have levied penalty on me. एक बार पेनल्टी लग गया या सर्च सीज हो गया या रेवेन्यू अथॉरिटीज ने डिमांड नोटिस इशू किया और मैं गलत पाया गया, तो उस परचेजेस के रिलेटेड गवर्नमेंट सेड यू ट्राई टू इवेड द ड्यूटी. सो इफ यू ट्राई टू evade duty, the government is not going to like it and they are saying now get lost, no ITC will be given to you, you pay the full tax without the credits. So obviously people will be scared to try to evade GST after knowing this. Now in the notes they have given the definition of plant and machinery. Now plant and machinery matlab kya? Plant and machinery means anything, any apparatus, equipment, machinery, but these are fixed to the earth, fixed, embedded in the earth. It has a structural support and this is used for making outward supplies of goods or services. So I can set up a manufacturing plant which is going to manufacture goods. Okay, so iska ITC milta hai, we had seen. Or maybe for certain services, maybe Jio, Reliance Jio, telecom services, they also need some plant and machinery to provide the services such as telecommunication services, 3G and 4G and 5G, etc. and includes such foundation and structural support. So anything to support that, let's say this is the manufacturing plant, उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए जो भी स्क्रू या उसके जो फाउंडेशन है सब कुछ कवर हो जाता है इन योर प्लांट एंड मशीनरी. बट एक्सक्लूड्स, नाउ दिस इज ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट, द फॉलोइंग थिंग्स आर नॉट प्लांट एंड मशीनरी. इट एक्सक्लूड्स. सो प्लांट एंड मशीनरी मीन्स दिस ऑल इट इंक्लूड्स बट एक्सक्लूड्स. सो दिस ऑल आर नॉट प्लांट एंड मशीनरी. तो अगर प्लांट एंड मशीनरी नहीं है तो हम लोग ने देखा था प्लांट एंड मशीनरी के ऊपर ITC मिलता है. So if not plant and machinery, no ITC, which is your land, building, civil structures, telecommunication towers. So towers are not considered to be plant and machinery. Pipelines laid outside the factory premises. So all of this the government is saying it is not plant and machinery, and if it is not plant and machinery, we had seen in section 17 subsection 5, no ITC. Further, there was a case law, okay, with respect to rent-a-cab services. Rent-a-cab services में क्या था? ITC of motor vehicles for rent-a-cab services was inadmissible. Now I'll tell you the scenario and you'll come to know. So this was now there are some cars, like let's say Zoom cars. Zoom cars या Zoom business में क्या कर रहे थे? इनका business था to rent the motor vehicles. They used to let out, and the business was to provide people on cars on rent. Now question came up that the business was renting of motor vehicles. Can they claim GST? So what happened is, they said ultimate answer was no, ITC is available. But they said that, we are in the transportation of passengers, business of transportation of passengers, and we had seen in section 17 subsection 5 subclause A that if motor vehicles are used for providing business output supply of transportation of passengers, then ITC was available. But law ने क्या बोला कि boss, this is not transportation of passengers at all. Interpretation was wrong. It doesn't fall in this category. There's a different category of rent a cab. It will fall in that category because when you rent a motor vehicle, it is not for transportation of passengers. Means the transportation of passengers means what? From point A to point B, it will go, and per kilometer you charge. Per kilometer it is charged. Whereas in rent a cab, what happens? In rent a cab, it is merely rent is given for procuring or getting the motor vehicles for time basis. It is possible that the passengers must have never traveled at all, but just because it is given for a day, like for example we go to Goa, and Goa में वो लोग rent करने दे देते, they give you for a day motor vehicle, or maybe a scooter or a motor vehicle, basically a car they've given. So here it is on time basis, not on per kilometer basis. So ITC is not available because they are saying it is not falling under the category of transportation of passengers. Though you transport passengers only, but the main business is not for transporting passengers, but to provide you the car itself. Then after you get the car, then the owner doesn't matter if you are moving 1 kilometer, passengers have traveled, not my lookout at all. Next morning I want my money. So this is a complete feature altogether. It went up in dispute, and ultimately it was held at rent a cab services. We had seen that in section 17 subsection 5A, it had said that exception was there if it is for transportation of, if the person is involved in transportation of passengers. But the interpretation was that this business of renting a cab is not to be covered in this law and to be taken in a different head altogether of renting motor vehicles, a separate section altogether. And that is it. We are done with this most important section.